have a shark on your coat. Or is that a trout?
It's a trout. It's not as
All right.
menacing as a shark.
Yeah. I don't know. Some trout can be pretty mean.
Do you fish?
Yeah.
So the first time I met you, it was with my husband David Chute. It was around the time of Mad Max.
Right.
And we had drinks at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel.
Yeah.
And you told us about something I've never forgotten.
Yes.
Shit blisters.
You really want to hear this on tape? Oh my God.
I was taking you literally. I can edit this.
Yeah, good.
If you don't want to go there, I'll edit it.
You don't want that account again. Well,
All
that
right.
was, I think, that
You
was
know,
the
I
most,
can write that,
that was
too.
the most disgusting story I ever heard. And it was related to me by somebody else, so even for me it was secondhand. But I couldn't believe my ears when I heard that. And it's just a testament to how far people can go in the pursuit of pleasure. I don't know. I don't know what could possibly be pleasant about it. But.
Well, I think that one of the things that struck me about it was that you're attracted a little bit to things that are extreme.
It was really extreme.
You know,
Yeah, sure.
And in your movies, you've always had a little bit of a penchant for the what Stanley Kubrick would call the ultra violence. You know, that it's as if you want to grab the audience by the lapels and make them see something, you know?
Maybe.
Your
Maybe a little too much.
Well, as a director, I think your films are really like that.
Well, yeah, they keep their eyes open, you know. I remember I made Apocalypto, and the best compliment I received from someone that saw it was from Mike Nichols. And he called and he said, I loved it. He said, when I wasn't hiding behind a chair. Like,
Your movies are intense.
Yeah, they get intense.
You know?
So I guess that's good.
Well, the question is, you know, all right. So you worked on the Mad Max movie. So some of your training came from the great George Miller,
Yeah.
who's going. Now, were you going to do Fury Road at one point?
Oh man, maybe like 10 or 12 years ago, I think. Yeah, George came and he was actually, you know, he was thinking of going back then, but it just, for one reason or another, it didn't happen. I think it was really expensive, and it was like back in the era when, you know, films were just getting out of control. So I think they rethought their plan, and I think that, you know, 10 years further down the track, you know, you're 58 years old, you know, can you kind of go through with the physical rigor of what that film would entail? And I guess the answer was no, so they got a younger, stronger dude to do it.
So Tom Hardy.
Tom, yeah.
Did you meet him?
I met Tom, yeah. He actually, it was his idea. I think he wanted to just meet and say hello, and he needed some kind of dispensation or something to be able to
Appropriate.
go off and do. And I respect that, and of course I was like all for it. I was like, do a good job, dude, you know, as he will, because he's intense.
He is too.
He's a very intense.
He's similar
actor.
to you in that way.
Yeah, really intense. Yeah.
And he's a great actor.
Yeah. I've seen him a few times, and he always impresses me with the level he gets to. So it's different. He's got a different drummer going.
So I've been wondering, and a lot of people are wondering. I mean, would you go back to directing? I mean, we've seen you do some movie star roles. You've done The Expendables. You've done some other things.
The Dependables.
Well, why did you want to do that movie, for example?
It was fun, and you know, Sly called, and he's actually quite a persuasive, charming guy.
He is.
He is. You've talked to Sly,
I have.
you know, and it's like he's well read. He's an artist. He's like, you know, and the idea worked. I said, hey, write me I'll be the bad guy. I said, write me something fun. I'll come and, you know, throw down. You can shoot me full of holes. I don't care. So he said, okay, let's do that. You know, so it's like we did. It was fun. I had a blast.
And working with Rodriguez, was that fun?
He's the eternal adolescent. He's just, yeah. And he's, you know, he's got his own way of doing stuff. It's fast, you know.
But there must be a part of you that, I mean, I know you. You have ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You
Of
have
course.
scripts sitting there that you want to make. I know you do.
Yeah.
So what's the status of that in your mind?
Well-
What would need to happen?
What would need to happen is, and when I'd had scripts that I wanted to make before, nobody else wanted to make them. Nobody wanted to make Passion. Nobody wanted to make Apocalypse. So,
So you took care of it.
yes, I did. I reached into my pocket and wrote the check and did it. But I'm not doing that anymore.
Why not?
Well, because,
You made money from those.
yes, it can be lucrative.
A lot of money from
Yes.
Passion of the Christ, according to all reports.
Yes, a lot, yes. And not so much on Apocalypto, although it was number one at the box office. And, it's fine. But it's like, I just think I'm just not in that game anymore. And it's like...
Is it too nerve-wracking? Is it too
well,
scary?
No, it's not scary. I wasn't scared at all. In fact, I'll throw something in if I believe in it. But I'm just not doing that. Thinking about retirement, So it's like, I
So
think
you
it's...
want someone else to pay for the movie.
Yeah, and to have a little faith in my ability, which I think is, still intact. But so what I'm saying is that it's more difficult now because no one ever had any faith in my ability. Even if you prove it again and again, I think that it's a hard. You have to reprove it somehow.
What about the whole thing that Icon does with sort of foreign sales around the world, raising territory by
Sure.
territory? You're still a big star
Yeah,
around the
sure.
world.
And we can do that. And we did that. We did that on Get the Gringo. We got most of the budget, from foreign sales and stuff.
Which you wrote, right?
That's the old way. That's
So
old.
so how about that? Is there something you'd really
Sure.
like to do?
Oh yeah, so many things. Yeah.
Give me an idea of where you might go.
A lot of it goes back into history, and I've had it on the boards for a long time, so long, in fact, that people kind of do things like it for TV. So it kind of takes the steam out of it. It's not new anymore. Like
Yeah,
it was.
that happens.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't control that.
And so I still think I have a good take on it. I still think it's a valid thing.
Is this the one about the Hebrews that you were going to do at one
Oh
point?
no, there's one about the Maccabees, which is like phenomenal. But it's a phenomenal story, and it's like a western, But someone will do that for TV in a minute. But those things take a long time.
So which one are you referring to that has been done by TV? Is there a specific one?
Yeah, well, there's I had this whole Viking story, and then all of a sudden it's on the History Channel, and it's okay. But
I'd love to see that.
a Viking story.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody needs to see a really good one.
Yes. That it doesn't have to be that. I don't think
That has
if you-
that has the true horror. Yes. Okay.
that only Mel Gibson could deliver.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's nothing scarier than a bunch of those guys coming to town. It's pretty scary.
I would watch that.
Yeah. Well, me too. I want to see that. I'll see it. We will see it.
Well, the other option today in the indie world is TV itself,
That's the other thing. Yeah.
which
TV
is where
great.
the interesting stuff is going on.
Yeah. A lot of interesting stuff happening there.
So you'd be open to that,
Sure.
Steven Soderbergh style,
I don't know.
He did this thing called the Nick, 1900 set with Clive Owen, and it's operating table stuff, really hardcore 1900
Right.
with blood pumps and
Oh,
stuff.
right, okay.
That's what you should
The
check
Nick.
that one out.
No, I haven't seen it.
It might be bloody enough.
Steven, yeah, I like Steven. Yeah, he goes to some pretty interesting places. No, TV's a great medium. Very successful. What some people have done with it.
Sounds like there's a part of you that wants. Are you willing to sort of say that you don't care if you work at the studios again, or would you like to have them step up for you?
That's good. It doesn't matter how it happens, so long as it happens. And there's a lot of different ways to build a bridge. So I think I don't want to rule that out. If they can get behind something and do it, it's great. It's just that they're not inclined to now so much. They do less, and they're less
That's
inclined
for
to take
sure.
risks. They don't take a risk.
What kind of reasons do they give you when you're asking? It's like
Well,
that's
stuff
such
like
a track record.
historical stuff is dealt with by TV now, or But basically, if you're not going for the sort of the big deal with the pyrotechnics and people flying around and beating each other up, it's kind of it just doesn't get done. Not by the studios.
And have they asked you, I'm just curious, have they asked you to do theater?
Theater.
Yeah.
Who's they?
The theater companies.
Theater companies. No, oddly enough, no, I haven't had any invitations like
Have you done theater?
Yeah, I used to
When
do
you were a
theater.
kid, you
Yeah,
did.
sure. That's where I started.
You did Hamlet on film.
On film, never did it on stage, so I actually never did it, because if you do it on film, you're doing it backwards anyhow. It's a very bizarre experience, that, doing Hamlet on film. Ooh. I wish I'd done it on stage, but I never did, and now I'm too old to do it on stage. Although you can probably get away with it if you're far enough away.
I'm not sure. What would you do other theater though?
Yeah, sure.
Would
Yeah.
you do Shakespeare?
Sure, yeah. Shakespeare's great stuff. Maybe it's about time for King Lear while I still have the energy to rage. You know?
Kevin Spacey's had some fun with Richard, you know.
Richard III?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, he does, you know. So when you watch, when you see someone like Shia LaBeouf out
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
sort of raging and going nuts, what do you think are some of the real issues that young actors contend with, and actors in general, and it's not just young ones? I mean, I remember talking to you a long time ago, and I got from you a sense that you never took anything for granted.
No.
That you were always as good as your last picture,
Yeah, that's about it.
and it's
Well,
tough.
It is. It's a hard world. You're under a microscope. You're under scrutiny. If you achieve any kind of notoriety, the degree of difficulty goes up. The loss of personal anonymity forever it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. You don't get an opportunity to put the toothpaste back in the tube. It just doesn't go back in. So it's, that's gone. You have to reconcile that. And then the world is different. It's very difficult to explain to people who haven't been through it. I think the people that truly only understand it are the people that have been through it. I remember talking to Shirley MacLaine when I was very young. I was talking to her I was just asking her a question. And she kind of, although I'd become friendly with her later on, at that time I was just some kid asking her a question, and she kind of like fluffed me off, and I was kind of offended by it. But I understand. I completely understand how you get. You know, that somebody, just some seeming person, might just be trying to like take a piece out of you. It's a very it's an interesting existence. Happens all the time. You're a target, and you have to be really adept at tap dancing and dodging the bullets. And you don't, and sometimes you get hit, and sometimes mortally. You know, it's pretty bad. And like when I see somebody like Shia LaBeouf with the bag on his head and stuff, like my heart goes out to the poor guy.
I bet it does.
No, it does, because I think he's suffering in some way. Or why would he do that? You know? And people are inclined to sort of point the finger at him and say, like, well, he's, this or that or the other. And it's easy to judge. But I'm sure he's gone through some kind of personal, kind of very painful, cathartic thing that he has to exercise and get out there. And he'll probably, play it out and come back. Whatever it happens to be, he'll be all right. I actually like the kid. I think he's good. I never met him. I like him.
He's a good actor. He's a very good actor. He's got it. Well, Robert Downey Jr., who has been a good friend
Yes,
to
sir.
you, and I saw what he did at the American Cinematheque.
Yeah, that's cool.
A really nice thing. He and Jodie were there for you.
Yeah.
He seems to have figured out some kind of remarkably aggressive way of sort of just staying sane.
Yes.
What do you think of that? Have you talked to him about that?
I'm all for it. I mean, the guy took matters into his own hands and literally has the strength and the character to be able to sort of grab himself by his own lapels and put himself on course, which is phenomenally difficult. And I think, and knowing Robert, and where he's been, a lot of people had no faith in him. You know, they were like, "Well, Robert, like Robert off." He's like,
Well, look at his family. He didn't have the proper upbringing.
all that stuff.
You know,
Yeah.
he was smoking pot when he was a kid.
Yeah, 9 years old or something. And so you think, you know, what chances the guy got? But he's like a real success story, and he's like actually, it's pretty courageous. I mean, to be able to achieve that and to be able to change like that. And it's mainly coming from within. He's a smart guy, and you wonder why, you know?
And
I mean, he subjected his poor brain to a lot of chemicals, but, you know, intelligent, so smart, now quick-witted. I mean, he's got this gift of this agile, brilliant mind, and he was always like that. So that, you know, he overcame it of himself. Of course, he must have had help from other people and advice and everything else, but
and a solid marriage.
And a solid marriage. Oh my God, yeah, he's got a gem there in that woman, and now he's babies, all that sort of stuff. And now he's kind of like, you know, he's mellowed out some, and I think he's reaping the rewards of his hard labor, which is fully deserving. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you had some major franchises of your own, you know, an incredible track record. What was it like looking at the films last night on the screen, the tribute?
I didn't actually see it. I went out for the beginning of it. It was fun. I should show you the tape.
You got that mad mind. I know.
I showed it to you last
night. Show it to me
funny.
again.
Show it to you again. Yeah, no, it was fun.
I made a comment that you should put it on Twitter, and you gave me a pretty.
Twitter.
That's what I'll believe.
No, what it was this great video of you going out to that incredible outdoor theater. How many people?
I don't know, 3,000 people. It was fun. Mostly kids. I think they form these tent cities. They get together. They imbibe in various substances, probably fornicate, and then they go to the movies. You know? It's like they're all having fun.
So you also showed me a new tattoo last night.
A new tattoo.
That's my impression I got.
The new
you
tattoo.
bared your from a movie.
I bared. Oh, it's a fake tattoo.
Oh, it's a fake tattoo.
It's not a new tattoo. It's not real. It's in fact, it's hard to get off, but I'm washing it off in the shower. It's like her face finally came
So
off.
this is from the. So
Yeah,
what?
right.
So this is your latest movie. Yeah.
Yes, this faceless girl is Erin Moriarty at the age of 12. So I wiped that smile off her face in the shower. Yeah. Okay. She's a great kid. She's amazing.
So how do you stay sane? What is your strategy for that?
I wake up in the morning and I ask God not to make me nuts. That's about it. And he usually hangs in there with me, so that's good. I mean, I'm here, right? I mean, I could be like, but I'm not.
No, you're not.
Although
No,
for
you're
a second I was.
No, I actually want to see. I want to see you make a movie. I
Yeah,
really
me too.
do, and figure that out.
It'll be good when it happens, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Get on it, will you?